Hey, Stevie Nani here. Before we get to our junkyard crawl video for today, just a heads up, on October 1st, if you're in the Durant, Oklahoma area, I'll be there live at Spanky Assiter's inaugural Freedom Choctaw Collector Car Auction at the Choctaw Casino and Resort Event Center, again in Durant, Oklahoma, where a whole bunch of cool collector cars are going to get sold, many of them at no reserve. And I'll be on the stage live doing commentary. One of the best cars and most special cars in that event is going to be the actual 58 Chevrolet Impala, fully restored, that was once owned by Peggy Sue Gerron. Yes, that Peggy Sue, the star of several Buddy Holly songs. Pretty, pretty, pretty Peggy Sue. That was her 58 Impala. That car is going to get sold at no reserve, again, on October 1st at the inaugural Freedom Choctaw Collector Car Auction in Durant, Oklahoma, October 1st. Be there if you want to take a shot at that car and just check out a great auction. Okay, let's get right into the junkyard crawl here at Bernardston Auto Wrecking. Hey, Steve Nani here doing the junkyard crawl at Bernardston Auto Wrecking in Bernardston, Massachusetts with a 1989 Chevy Cavalier Z24 convertible. Now, we all have to remember that Chevrolet's first front-wheel drive car was the 1980 Chevy Citation, the X-Body. Well, very shortly thereafter, for 1982, the J-Body was Chevrolet's second front-wheel drive car. These are a little smaller than the Citations, but again, these Cavaliers were made between 1982 and 2005 for the United States market, and in China and Mexico, they still make them to this very day. Now, 1983 was the first year that the convertible body was available, and of course, the 1986 model year brought the Z24, but the Z24 and the convertible were finally combined in 1988. So this is an 89 second year for the Z24 convertible. Now, you have to remember, Z24 was Chevrolet's first dip into the mighty Z-bag, playing direct complement to the Chevy Camaro Z28 of 1967 on up. But you got to remember too that the Z prefix in Chevy land is simply chassis options. The Z75 was a C10 pickup or a K10 pickup with quad shocks up front, you know, so Z was just a chassis option. But with that said, Chevy knew exactly what they were doing with the Z24. Junior, Z28, they even had the same orange and red logos right down here. Of course, Z24 also included the body kit that we see here, this lower rocker stuff, the aluminum wheels, which are sort of a circle around a square. And again, this one being a convertible is a fairly rare bird. Of the 376,626 Cavaliers built in 1989, only 13,075 were Z24 convertibles. Now inside, these came with either a 5-speed Getrag close ratio manual transaxle or this, the 3-speed automatic, which is, you know, a little more secretarial. But again, these were strictly V6s, no 4-bangers in the Z24 family. So they were peppy for what they were. Of course, suspension was upgraded with special shocks and springs and sway bars. So the Z24 was definitely a pretty decent little car. But here's the thing. These convertible bodies were conversions. They were not done by Chevrolet. In fact, if we look right here, here is a sticker that says ASC. This vehicle was altered by Automobile Specialty Company, ASC, which also was known as American Sunroof Company. But this was done on August 3rd, 1988, I believe, right there, maybe 89, can't see the number. But this car was sent to ASC as a Chevy Cavalier sedan. The roof was cut off, and then ASC finished the job right here. Now here's the thing, when you design a car to be a convertible from day one, it's usually pretty fully engineered and okay. Well, when you add the convertible or take the convertible away, as it were, you can get some compromises. Okay, this is Motor Trend magazine right here, and this is July 1983, and this is the Pontiac Sunbird, which is a J car, the cousin to the Cavalier, and this is Motor Trend's giant 12-car convertible. They took all the convertibles and they put them on the road for a test. In fact, here is the lead shot, and there's Ro McGonigal right there in front of that Mustang, my old boss at Hot Rod. I always pay tribute to Ro. He's the guy who hired me at Hot Rod, changed my life, great guy, but here he is as a staffer at Motor Trend as part of this multi-car convertible road test. We can see right there, a lot of those cars are a wide variety. The Rolls Corniche, the Mercedes 450 SL, the Fiat Spider, Alfa Romeo, all these interesting cars. But these are mostly all cars done by conversion shops, including the J car. Now they did something in this here. Here's the Twistoflex tests. And they say here, all cars flex a little. Without a roof, the flexibility is more noticeable to the driver, and a phenomenon known as cowl shake, and the car has a tendency to twist when it is jacked up as for tire changes. So it says here, to simulate a tire change, they ran the right wheel up a driveway and onto the curb. Then with the car twisted, we would attempt to open the doors. If they functioned normally, the car would pass. A door that wouldn't open or close meant a failing grade. Well, check this out. The Ford Mustang GLX failed. You can see right there, it says moderate cowl shake, rattles and top. Driver's door would not open when front wheel raised. But down below it, the Pontiac 2000, which was done by ASC, light cowl shake, rattles, A-OK, it passed. But that said, you know, now convertible cars, well, not all of them, but many of them are designed at the factory to be convertibles to join their sedan and wagon and hardtop sisters and cousins and brothers. But these things were done by ASC as a job shop conversion. Now, the beauty of these cars that I kind of like on the Z24 is Chevrolet brought back cowl induction, which was, well, we saw it on the Chevy Citation X11. Yes, it had cowl induction, but these actually have a SMC plastic hood. It's lighter, and as we lift this hood, we'll see that those ducts actually feed air from the back to this rubber lip. So it actually is a form of cowl induction. And of course that rubber lip seals to the air cleaner top right here, which then feeds the 2.8 liter V6. Now this engine's kind of an unusual beast. This is a 60-degree V, it's quite narrow, and this engine was pretty much designed for use in the Citation, but also saw duty in Chevy S10 pickup trucks. Similar cousin to this thing, of course, the Pontiac Fiero also saw this engine, and of course the Camaro and Firebird, the Gen 3s, could also be had with this 2.8 liter engine, or a cousin thereof. These made 130 horsepower in Z24 trim, but again, that cold air induction right there, you gotta say, you know, hats off to Chevrolet. There's a void between the inner and outer skins that runs down into the cowl area right here, and it must have some degree of ram air effect. You know, something's better than nothing, right? But anyway, that's the under hood area on this puppy here. Now you got to remember that ASC also did convertible conversions on vehicles like the Gen 3 Camaro and Firebird, the C4 Corvette, Porsche 944, Toyota Celica, and even the Dodge Dakota pickup truck convertibles. ASC was responsible for all of those conversions, and also for this conversion right here. So again, ASC was founded in 1967 and then sold to Roush Industries in 2016, and the bones of it, the genes of it, are still around in every Roush-built vehicle. But again, ASC, one of the leaders in Tier 2 vehicle modification, good enough for Chevrolet to bank on them. And again, over 13,000 of these things were converted in 1989 alone by ASC. So they had a steady stream of business from Chevrolet, and of course Porsche and all the other manufacturers went to ASC for their conversions. So this is a rare little piece right here. One thing that's kind of weird about this, before we wrap this up, this car has the centrally mounted taillight right here, the Chismol, or whatever they call it. Now this one here, this car does not have the optional trunk cargo device, so the light's right there. Meanwhile, over here, another 89 Z24 convertible. This one does have the trunk cargo holder, and the tail light comes out into the bottom of it. So kind of weird, small differences. But again, it's all about the differences. You know, they say the devil's in the details, and so is salvation. So that's the story of the 89 Cavalier Z24. It's either a ripoff of the Z28 Camaro or a complement to it. You decide. These are front-wheel drive cars, but as time passes, these are becoming more and more interesting. People are starting to collect them, but they got to be clean and rust-free, not like these two. Now, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Magazine YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow with more Junkyard Crawl.